Hello, welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. Today we're going to continue with a series of beers from Second Story Ale Works, and we've looked at a couple already in this series, and now we're going to look at another one, and after this, the next one will be also from Second Story. And they're a couple of stouts, and they're a little bit different. Well, I'll tell you about it in a second here, but first, Second Story Ale Works is in Tokushima, Japan, on the island of Shikoku, and they started in 2018 and have been bottling since November of 2019. The brewery is run by a couple. And the owner, apparently the owner's parents had a house with a garage, and they put their brewery on the second story over the garage, and hence the name Second Story. You can see pictures of it on their website. The brewery was started by an American man named Pat Brown and his wife. And Pat Brown apparently had been homebrewing since 1993. And they were living in Bend, Oregon, which is very much a beer town with some of the, some very exceptional breweries in that town. Least and not least of all, Deschutes. When they decided to start a brewery and return to Japan, he took a university brewing course, and they came back and opened up their brewery, and they've been going since 2018. They're kind of well known for using local products, local fruit, local barley, things like that in their beers. But a lot of his beers tend to be kind of Northwest influenced, not all. Portland, Oregon, I mean. And on RateBeer, there are 30 beers from this brewery listed, and on Untapped, there are 52 beers, and the average score on Untapped is 3.75, so pretty high overall. And okay, so we're going to take a look at a couple of stouts from Second Story Ale Works, and we'll get going. And let's look at another beer from Second Story Ale Works in Tokushima, and this one is another stout. It's called Raspberry Stout, and we've got berries. You can see the raspberries here quite clearly on the label, and this is a stout flavored or pastry stout at 6%. And RateBeer, this one doesn't have any ratings whatsoever. On Untapped, there are 7 ratings, and we don't have any score because of that low number. Perhaps there will be soon. And this is a blended beer. It's a blend of the brewery's Raspberry Porter, the Baby Stout, and Break. Break is a coffee beer. And actually, Baby Stout, which we just reviewed recently, also has coffee in it. So this beer has malt, German malt, and hops, unspecified, oats, and raspberry, lactose, coffee beans, and cacao nibs. So we've got quite a bit going on in this beer here. Again, 6%, and I'm looking forward to this one. It should be quite interesting. So we just had their Baby Stout, which is a 4%er, and this is a blend of that with the Raspberry Porter and the beer called Break, which is a coffee beer. So coffee and raspberries. Whoa, well, we've got quite a head going on here. Okay, this is very dark, kind of reddish brown. It's got certainly translucent edges, and then you put it through the light and you can see through it, sort of. And rather massive, 1, 2, 3, let's say four fingers of head and it is kind of dark, dark sort of tan head. A little bit creamy on top, but overall kind of spongy. Okay, we're going to get a whiff of this. Okay, I get the raspberries immediately. And behind it, some dark roast. Not getting coffee. Raspberries are quite the dominant element in the nose. Okay, raspberries, kind of chocolate, light chocolate. Goes through a very interesting palate change from beginning to middle. So the berries kind of come up and really express themselves. The chocolate and kind of bitterness hits in just before mid-palate. And it kind of spreads itself out across the tongue. And I think the coffee sort of was just lying flat on the tongue in the finish. Unusual. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is very nice, pleasant changes in flavor throughout the palate. So from the nose, basically I got raspberry, and but in flavor, the chocolate comes out, the raspberry, and bitterness. So interesting beer. Coffee I'm not getting so much, except at the very end. At the very end, we sense coffee as a kind of final sort of bitter note, and that's basically it. Interesting beer. Yeah, you should give these things a try. I think Second Story is a brewery you want to check out. They're quite small, but they do have an online shop, and if you live in Japan, you can order from them. If you don't live in Japan, well, someday you will come to Japan and you can get beer from Second Story Ale Works. Okay, so again, this is called Second Story Raspberry Stout, 6% flavored or pastry stout, and I like this very definitely. So that's it for today. Hope you're doing well. Stay healthy, and subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment, and I'd like to hear from you. Let me know what you think about Japanese craft beers or other craft beers, anything related to beer. Let's talk, okay? All right, take care. Bye-bye.